Hello and welcome to Wide Open Reviews, a special edition of Wide Open Reviews. I've got my good buddy here, Cody, who has a really pretty boat and a really nice truck. And well, there's a lot of similarities between the two, to be honest, but there's a whole lot that's different. So both trucks are 2,000 miles. Both of them are Fords. Both of them are Super Duty chassis. But that's about where the similarities end. And then behind both of those rigs are jet boats and pleasure craft jet boats. And we're gonna have some fun with all of these things today. Again, a lot of similarities, but a lot different. Thank you so much for being on the channel. I'm really excited about this. The more we've talked about this, the more excited I've gotten about this.
Me too.
I think it's gonna be really cool. So let's tell our viewers kind of what we're looking at, what we're thinking about with the comparisons and the contrasts, and what we plan to do with these four awesome rigs out here today.
All right, that sounds good. Well, I think it's funny because it's the same, but they're different in completely, totally different aspects. And we started talking about what's same about the boats and what's different about the boats. We started with what? Storage,
Yep.
Capacity, just the slight, tiny little differences. I've got single engine. He's got a double engine.
You got a blower. Mine are naturally aspirated.
Yeah, and the difference in the trailers and the weight and fuel capacity. So it's going to be interesting what we uncover.
It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So stick around. This is the first of many videos. They'll probably be spread out throughout the summer. We're going to try and hit these best we can. We both have big families, growing families. You'll see the kiddos in the background playing on the boats. And we're just going to have a good time with it and share with you guys our rigs that we love and the boats that we get to spend time with our families on and in and playing in the water and all the fun that goes along with that. So stick around. It's going to be a fun one. All right, Cody. So tell us a little bit about your truck. What are a few of the things that you like about it? Just kind of walk around it and show us some of the features of your rig.
Okay, well, first I'm going to start off with, this is a 2000 F350 Super Duty with the 7.3 liter turbo diesel engine.
I'm jealous.
Thank you. This was originally my grandfather, so when I was 10 years old, I was riding around in the back of this truck, so it's got a lot of sentimental value to it.
Oh, yeah.
My grandmother sold it when he passed away in 2004, and I got a phone number, called a guy, got a phone number, called a guy, and finally found the person that was using it. And when I called him, he said, "It's funny you called. I actually just sold my fifth wheel, and I don't need it anymore, and I am selling it." And so I got his address. Come to find out, it was in Calgary, Canada. And so we arranged a way to get up there. I bought a one-way ticket with plans to buy the truck and drive it all the way home. And that was just over 2,000 miles, and I did it in about 2 days. So
Man.
It was a neat adventure. But yeah, so it was in perfect condition. It had different rims on it, it had different tires on it, but I wanted to look, I'm a stock fan, and so I found a friend of mine had an Excursion similar to yours, and I got these rims off of him. We did a little switch, and I put these street tires on it. The few things that I've changed on it, I've actually had the hood repainted, I've had the bedside repainted, but other than that, it's in pretty much stock condition, original paint. I love the size of the cab. Me and my family, we travel, we'll go to Galveston and other places, and we've got room to pack, we've got room to relax. It's got bench seats. Right now it's set up to seat 5, but when that middle piece flips up, and I can have 6 people in the rig, so plenty of space, plenty of storage. Leather seats, so everything wipes up. There's no stains of any sort from kids spilling drinks. Another thing I love is the bed space. I've got an 8-foot bed. I can hold a four-wheeler and coolers and all my camping equipment. I don't have to lower the tailgate for anything. Plenty of storage.
I gotta ask you, it's a crew cab with an 8-foot bed. Does it ever bother you how long it is?
it's hard to go through drive-throughs. It's hard to park in top parking spots. You tend to walk when you go to Walmart. So
yeah,
there are some challenges to it. A 2-point turn might turn into a 5-point turn. So. But it tows like a beast. You can't tell the boat's back there. It doesn't jolt and bounce or anything like that. So
awesome. All right. Well, speaking of the boat, let's take a peek here at that. Go ahead.
All right, so what we got here is a 2014 Yamaha AR192. This is on the smaller end of their boats. It's a 19-foot rig. We're just going to start at the front. A lot of boats come with this, but it's a bump stop. So when I hit the brakes on my truck, the weight of the boat pushes and it has its own brakes. So I don't have to have a braking system. I do have a braking system, but it doesn't utilize that when I tow the rig.
I too have the built-in brakes, just like you do on my trailer, and I love them, except when I'm trying to back the trailer up.
That's right. And that's the reason I have this bungee here.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to see. We'll have to show you on the other side. I've got a little piece that slides in. Then I slide this bungee up, and now it kind of deactivates the brakes.
Nice.
And when I need the brakes, I just pull that back and I drop that piece.
Very nice. I have something similar that the previous owner put on mine. It's a little janky, but it works.
Yeah.
It works well. So AR192, which means it's supercharged. I am jealous of the superchargers, of the blowers.
You can hear it. It's kind of neat.
Oh yeah.
And so supercharged, and it comes with a tow rack. That was the package.
Okay.
So now I've bought these rims off Amazon. They came with a stock rim, and I like the way those look. And I did get in trouble for buying those. She says, "What was wrong with the old rims?" I said, "These just look better."
They do.
I love the look. I think it pops. I think it looks really good.
It looks really, really sharp.
So this is one of the main features that the whole reason I bought the boat. I love the swim deck. The kids can stand back here. We can sit back here. We've got cup holders, and we got some storage in here. And there's no propeller, which is the safety issue with other boats. The kiddos swimming, and this fin right here is for low-speed maneuverability. We'll get into the discussion later on the pros and cons, but when I first bought it, it would swing around every time I slowed down. So, got your boarding ladder, LED lights on all the way around, and this is something I recommend to every boater. This is called the boat buckle, and what it is, it's pretty much a ratchet strap, and it's good to go. And all I gotta do is push this button on the side, and it comes right off, and it kind of ratchets its way up. They are
really nice.
So I love it. I fought the original strap that I had on here, and once I bought those, now they're a little pricey, but it saves you a lot of time, a lot of headache having to pull over on the road and get the boat strapped back down.
Well, and if for some reason one were to come off, it just ratchets up instead of bouncing down the road and beating the snot out of the bottom of your boat or something.
And there's no way it can fall off.
Yeah.
So
it's way nice. Yeah.
All right. This is our little gas cap. And I found one gas station where I can put diesel in the truck and gas in the boat at the same time.
Nice.
So
that's very nice.
Those are hard to come by.
Oh yeah. Well, very cool.
That pretty much sums up the AR192.
Love it.
Now we're going to let Matt talk a little bit about his rig. So Matt, what are some things you like and dislike about your rig?
So I just happened. There's a funny story behind how I came up with this. We'll share that in a later video because it's really good. And I want to dig into the story about your truck too in a future video. Maybe we can do a collab on that. But this is my 2000 Ford Excursion. It is a Lariat, actually just like yours is. It has the two-tone paint, just like yours does. Mine's the navy blue color on top instead of the black, but a whole lot of similarities. The grills are different, but nearly everything else about the two trucks is identical, at least as far as the first set of doors is concerned. But I came across this truck. Is actually sold here locally in town. I had been looking for an Excursion for a long time, in particular the V10, in particular a four-wheel drive, although I would have been okay with a two-wheel drive. And I happened on this one actually from good friends at House of Cars in Tyler, Texas, and they Logan over there hooked me up with this rig. I'm absolutely in love with this truck, and bonus, it actually came with, we'll go around this way, it came with a what I believe to be a 4-inch rough country lift and 35-inch tires. So these are just a Venom Power 35, 12.5, 20 on some Black Rhino wheels with the fake bead lock thing, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they were already on there. So, and I think they look really good on this truck. I, like Cody, am very much so a stock look kind of guy, and I do plan on going back with some 16s or something like that, maybe a later model F250 wheel on this. This is built on the F250 platform, so basically everything a three-quarter ton truck would do, this can do, except it's got the whole back half of it closed in. So very similar setup to Cody's. The biggest difference being I have a console, and he's got the bench seat. I am a little jealous of his bench seat and his lariat trim. That's not a typical thing, so that's pretty awesome. And of course, back here in the back, one of the chief complaints of the Excursion is the accessibility into the back of the truck, or into the second row. The third row, not so much, because the seat does fold forward and slide up, but this space between the seat and the B pillar is pretty tight when you're getting in for most people. But it's still a third row SUV that's three-quarter ton capable. So a lot of similarities, but again, a lot different about these two trucks. Moving back here to the boat, this is my 2010 Seadoo. Let me get all the names here right. For whatever reason, Seadoo did a mile-long name for these boats, but this is a Seadoo 210 Wake 310. So the 210 means it's 21 foot, give or take. The Wake is the addition, so it's got the Wake tower. It's got a couple of features in the digital display for different driving modes and tow modes and things like that. And then the 310 is the horsepower rating. So it's got two Rotax 1503, 155 horsepower, naturally aspirated 3 cylinders in the back of it. Again, one of the differences between Cody's boat and mine is twin motors on mine, single motor on his. He's got a supercharger, mine's naturally aspirated. But
was that a Challenger 210? Is that part of the name? Or
yes, yeah, the Challenger 210 is the same boat, but being that this is the Wake edition, it adds a few features to it, including the Wake tower. So yeah, Challenger 210 is exactly the same boat. Because it's a 21 foot and because it has twin engines, this boat actually weighs close to 1,000 pounds. I think it's closer to 800 pounds more than what Cody's does. So I've got tandem axles on my trailer. It makes a big difference, but there's still tons of tongue weight on the hitch. So it's necessary on mine, whereas yours, I mean, good grief, behind a 1 ton, you probably don't even know the boat's back there, do you?
No, I don't.
It's pretty wild. And then yeah, moving around to the back, I don't even have my straps on, but I don't have the ratcheting straps that Cody does.
Well, you live about a mile away. So.
I know, yeah, we're very close to my house being over here. But yeah, twin engines back here. So I've got twin buckets and an engine on either side. And the kids are up there messing with the steering wheel, so they're moving stuff around. But big swim deck back here as well, like Cody's, but some big differences. One is I don't have the step down on his, so the water line is right in here close to where the ladder is on my boat. Very similar to his on the water line, but I've got another 10 or 12 inches worth of hull before you get to the swim deck, whereas his boat, your boat, I'm talking to you in the second and third and fourth person. On the AR192, the water level from the swim deck is really, really close. That makes it really nice getting in and out of the water on your boat compared to having to pull yourself up and on top of this one. So again, differences and similarities. Both jet boats, but very different approaches to jet boats. So yeah, I think we're gonna hop in to the rigs and go for a spin and kind of talk a little bit about the trucks themselves, and then I think we might go get wet. We're gonna go jump on the lake and run around just for a little bit. Maybe we can beat the rain and have some fun in the water. All right, Cody. We are in your 2000 Ford F350.
Loaded down.
Loaded down. We got the boat back there. All the hoodlums up front.
Everybody.
Everybody. Oh, and there's some big old holes. We're gonna try and do what we can to avoid the holes here. So 2000 F350. I think we've said this a time or two in the video already, but 2000 F350. This one's 2-wheel drive, 7.3 liter turbo diesel. It was your granddad's, and I didn't realize. I thought you inherited this truck. I didn't realize you actually tracked this truck down and purchased it from the owner that your grandmother sold the truck to.
We did. I purchased it for the same amount that he bought it for. I don't want to disclose that because it was a really, really good deal.
That's all right. Well, that's awesome. I mean, it's neat to think that it left the family and then now it's back in the family again. So wheelbase is the name of the game between your truck and mine, right?
Yeah. Can you tell a difference already? You just made some sharp turns.
I did. It's not bad, honestly. I mean, you just have to think about what you're doing a little more. That's really about it.
It's not bad until you go through a bank or a Sonic type drive-through where the mirrors like to touch both signs.
Okay, I can see that. I can see where that would be an issue. You do have the extendable tow mirrors on yours.
I do.
I am looking for some for mine because I want the extension and I want the convex mirror, the little one down on the bottom, because man, it makes a huge difference when you're watching that trailer and things like that. Yeah, what trailer? Good grief. It's I know we're not up to speed yet, but it's not there. It doesn't exist. Like, the only reason I know it's there is because it's in the rear view. That's awesome. Are there things about this truck that you would change? If you could go back to when the truck was purchased brand new and say, all right, I like this feature, I don't like that one, what would they be?
I can tell you a few things right off the top of my head. Engine noise. Okay. Engine noise is a big difference. When I get it in my wife's car, which she's got a new 21, I say new, it's new to me. Yeah. 21 Acadia, it drives and sounds completely different.
Oh yeah.
And there goes another excursion. So engine noise, everybody can hear it coming down the road. When I pull up to the house, my wife knows I'm home. She'll walk out, and I haven't done anything aftermarket with the exhaust or anything. Yeah. So, but it's just a loud engine. Now, there's times when I really like it.
Oh yeah.
The second thing is the long wheel base turns this truck into a spring. If it's not loaded down with weight, okay, it bounces down the road. So if you're going down the turnpike in Oklahoma, that segmented pavement, oh yeah, it turns into a springboard. And so I've seen some tricks. People let tire pressure out and they do different things with weight distribution. Right. It helps a little bit. But those are the two big things right off the top of my head.
I gotcha. That makes sense. I mean, it is. I noticed today when I hooked the boat up to the Excursion, just having the trailer weight, the tongue weight on the bumper makes a big difference in how that truck rides, even with the lift kit and the bigger wheels and tires and stuff on it. So I can imagine. So what are some of your favorite features of this truck?
Well, the whole reason that I looked into purchasing the truck is the engine. I love the 7.3 liter. I hear many good things. It's actually an international engine. You helped me. You told me the name before, the 44. Yeah,
T444E.
There's a lot of fours in that.
Yeah.
But you know, they got that. They paired it with the Garrett Turbo and threw some Ford badges on it. But people call it the million-mile truck, and that's exactly what I'm hoping to get out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Something I'm real excited for is, I'm gonna let you guys know a little secret. We're gonna do a fuel consumption comparison because there's a big battle right now. You know, the diesels tend to be a little more efficient than the gasoline. Right. However, gasoline tends to be cheaper at the pump, and so we're looking at the cost comparison on these vehicles.
I think it's gonna be a lot of fun too. Again, similarities and differences. They're both the Super Duty platform. Mine's 3/4 ton. Yours is 1 ton. Mine's got the V10, yours has the 7.3. Mine's 4-wheel drive, yours is 2-wheel drive. So already you're 2 up on me on that one, plus the lift kit. So I think I know how it's gonna go based on some of the conversation we've had already. But I am curious to see, you know, because there are, like you say, there's cost differences in the cost of the fuel. in the maintenance. You know, your engine takes more oil than mine does.
Oh, it holds 15 quarts.
Yeah, 15 quarts.
So
And
last oil change was $110.
right, versus, you know, I could probably do mine for 50 bucks or so, you know. So the maintenance things on a diesel engine tend to be a little more expensive. Not always, but they tend to be that way.
So as we're driving right now, the price of gasoline at this Exxon is $2.99 and diesel is $3.29.
So
I've seen it as low as gasoline at like $2.79.
Yeah,
and I've
yeah.
also seen diesel under $3.
Have you really?
Places. I have.
Wow. So that's awesome. So, I mean, you can shop around a little bit and really be down there pretty low. All right, Cody. We've been in the diesel. I can already tell the difference in the noise
I can
level.
tell a big difference. Noise level, and this gas pedal's sensitive.
Yeah. Yep.
It's got a little pep to it. Now it doesn't feel like crazy different.
No.
We'll have to see when we get on the road.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, now that we're on the road, what are some things that you like about your car, your truck?
So I love the space. Like we're set up a little differently in here than we were in your truck, right?
Yeah.
Still 6 of us, but you know, you and I don't have to rub elbows or mess with Ethan or anything in the middle. I love having the third row. I love the V10 from the simplicity standpoint. I would like to at some point own a 7.3 Excursion, but they are ridiculously expensive. So I love that it's all closed in. I do miss the truck, but I love that it's all closed in. That I've got the third row. That it's a 3/4 ton chassis, and it does everything I want it to do. Like,
I can already tell a difference in boats because we pretty much have the same weight in the vehicle, pretty close.
right.
I can already tell the braking feels a little bit different.
Yeah.
So now road noise, a little bit of a difference. So these bigger tires,
Yep.
mud tires, I hear just a little bit of a difference.
A little more rumble to it. What about that steering feedback? Or
I think it's you got just a little bit more play in the steering wheel.
yeah, it's you know, lift kit, big square tires, and solid axle front end. It's gonna have slop in it. It's gonna have movement and whatnot. So.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought that in order to get up to speed, I was gonna have to push the gas pedal maybe halfway, 3/4 of the way to get up to speed, but it's not. I barely touched it.
Yeah.
That V10's got some torque to it.
It does. It does. It's so when I was looking at Excursions, I almost pulled the trigger on 3 or 4 5.4 liter powered trucks.
And you had one of those before.
I had one of those. I had an 08 F-150 with the 5.43 valve in it. But when I started looking at the horsepower numbers, it's like 50 horsepower difference and 80 foot-pounds of torque difference from the 5.4 to the V10. It's a big gap between them, and I couldn't bring myself to leave that power on the table. So and I hadn't even driven either one of them. The only Excursion that I had driven before this one was a 6-liter powered diesel one. It was a 2005, I loved it. It was all factory. It had been bulletproof. But
there's our first downshift.
Yep.
I was waiting for it.
Yep. A little bit of a rise in the road, and it was there.
So I'm gonna go off of that. What are some things that you would like to change about the vehicle when you first got it?
So I wasn't looking for a lifted truck when I found this one, but and I'm okay with the lift, but the rough country lift is probably one of the cheapest ones out there. So the shocks that it has are a little rough. I don't know if you've noticed some of the bigger holes. Like there's about a ½ inch of cushion, and then it's pretty stiff. It's pretty taut, and I'm not a huge fan of that. That's a simple change of shocks, really.
This turn radius, though.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, it is.
We'll get into more of that too when we dig into the trucks and boats a little more. Again, future videos coming. Be sure you like and subscribe. here, keep track of me on the channel here. This is going to be a series of comparisons between the Excursion and the F350, the Yamaha and the Seadoo, all of the similarities, all of the differences, and you'll find it all right here on this channel. It's going to be a whole lot of fun in the process, and this is just the first video to kick all that off. So, all right, we got rained out.
Just in time.
It is coming down. I'm sure you can hear the rain there. We're standing in the garage. Rhett's playing in the water off of the roof there. The boats are getting wet, but not the way we wanted them to get wet today. So we're cutting it short, but there will be plenty more to come. We are, as mentioned before, super excited about this opportunity to bring you a couple of vehicles that you might not see on a regular basis, and kind of give some comparison and some contrast, and have some fun in the process, and share our families with you, and share our love of boats and trucks and everything else with you as well. So but as far as this episode is concerned, this is going to be it for today. So thank you for being with us, and as always, drive safely.
Drive safely.
Whatever.
Have a good day.